So we're going to do the odd ones for the review because that's all the ones that you guys had to do. But if you needed extra practice, you can do the evens too. So for this one, it says rewrite each equation in exponential form. So what's my base? What's my exponent? Y. And then what's it equal to? So I just switch these two. Perfect. For number 3, what's my base? N. What would come next? 19. And then what's it equal to? 47. Any questions on those? Rewriting it? Okay. Now we're going to rewrite it in log form. So when it says rewrite in log form, we have to start with the word log. And then what's the base? 5. And then we switch these two. So what would come next? 64 equals x. Perfect. All right, for number 7, we start with log. What's the base? 256. What would come next? 16 equals 1/2. Awesome. Any questions on these? All right, number 9 says, without a calculator, evaluate each expression. So we need to find what this is equal to. So we're going to say it's equal to some number x. So I want to put this in exponential form. So what would my base be? What's my exponent? And what's it equal to? So I need to think 2 to what power gives me 16? 2 to the 4th power would be 16. So what does x equal? X equals 4, because that's what exponent I need to be 16. So looking at number 10, we'll say this is equal to x. I have 3 to what power? 3x equals 1. What type of exponent do I need to turn my number into 1? A 0. 3 to the power of 0 would be 1. So x is equal to 0. So remember, anytime you have that 0 power, it makes your number 1. All right, number 10. So this one we're going to say is equal to x, and I need to put it into exponential form. So what's my base? 16. What's the exponent? X. And what's it equal to? 1/4. So I need to think 16 to what power gives me 1/4? Well, what type of number turns your number into a fraction? A negative. So we know it's going to be negative because negative turns it into a fraction. Now I'm going from 16 to 4. So what type of number makes this smaller? What type of number?
Fraction.
A fraction. So a fraction is going to make this smaller. So I know it's going to be a fraction, so I'm going to put a little fraction there. But I need to figure out what number goes in the denominator of my fraction. So what exponent would I need to put on 4 to make it 16? 2, because 4 squared is 16. So 2 would go in the denominator. So you have to remember, a negative turns it into a fraction, and a fraction makes the number smaller. All right, next we are condensing each expression to a single logarithm. So we want to combine. What's the first step I should do for number 13? Move any numbers out front up top. So I now have log base 2 of u to the 4th power minus log base 2 of v to the 4th power. Now when I condense, what goes with subtraction? Division. So I'm going to divide. So what would I start with here? Log 2. So that log stays the same with the same base. And then what am I dividing? So I do the first one divided by the second one. So it'll be u to the 4th power divided by v to the 4th power. And that's our answer. All right, let's take a look at 15. What do I need to do first for number 15? I put the number in front up top. So the base stays the same. That 7 stays there. So I have log base 7 of x plus log base 7 of y to the third power. So I move the 3 up top. Now what goes with addition? Multiplication. So I start with my log base 7, and what am I going to multiply? X with the y cubed. So it'll be log base 7 of x times y cubed. So when you condense it, you get rid of a log each time you condense. So we don't write the log twice, we're just condensing it to a single log. Bless you. All right, 17, what should I do? Eight's our base, so it stays there. I put the 2 as my exponent on the a. So I have log base 8 of a to the second power. Is there anything else I can do? Nope, it's a single log, so we're done. Let's take a look at 14. What's the first thing I should do for 14? Move the 5 up top. So I have log base 7 of x minus log base 7 of y to the 5th power into the 5th power. Bless you. So now I'm subtracting. So what goes with subtraction? Division. So I start with my log base 7, and then what do I divide? X to the 5th power divided by y to the 5th power. And that's our answer. All right, so number 19. We are expanding. So what goes with multiplication? Addition. When we expand it, that means we're going to have to add. So I start with my log base 6. What would come next? X. And then what? And then plus? Perfect. So every time you break it apart, each thing needs to get its own log. So since we have 3 terms here, we're going to have 3 logs in our answer. All right, let's look at 21. What should I do first for 21? I'm going to subtract because I'm dividing, but what do I need to do first? I need to either distribute the 2 or I could move the 2 up front. Either way will work and you'll get the same answer. So you can either distribute the 2 in the parentheses or you can move it up front. I'm going to move it up front first, so then just bring it along for the rest of the problem. So I have 2 log base 5 of a over b. Now we said we're dividing, so subtraction goes with division. So I start off with 2 log base 5. What would come first? A, the one on top comes first. And then minus what? 2 log 5b. Perfect. That's our answer. All right, 23 is kind of the same thing. What do I need to do first? Move the 3 in front of the log, so I have 3 log 6 a divided by b. What do I do next?
3 log 6a.
3 log 6a.
Minus 3 log 6b.
Awesome. Minus 3 log 6b. All right, let's do 24 also. So I'm dividing. What goes with division? Subtraction. So I start with log base 2, and what would come first? A. So then minus
Log base 2b.
So b to the 5th power. And then what's the last thing that I need to do? Move the 5 in front of only that log gets it. So I have log base 2 of a minus 5 log base 2b. All right, 25. we are solving with a common base, so we either start with a common base or we need to get them to have a common base. So here, they have a common base already, so what would we do first?
You would cross out the 4.
Just cross out the 4's and set the exponents equal to each other. So I have negative 2x minus 3 is equal to x plus 2. Now what would I do to solve?
Plus 3.
I could add 3 to the other side. So get rid of that one. So I have negative 2x is equal to x plus 5. And then what? Subtract x. So move the x to the other side. So negative 3x is equal to 5.
Divide by 3.
Divide by
Negative 3.
negative 3. So then x is equal to negative 5 over 3. Or if you wanted to, you could put it in the calculator. So this would be 1.667. All right, 27. So here we don't have a common base yet. So how do I make 16 have a common base? 16 is 4 squared. So I changed 16 to be 4 squared. So 4 squared is equal to 4 to the power of negative 3b minus 3. So when my bases are the same, what can I do?
You can cross it out.
Cross them out. So I have negative 3v minus 3 is equal to 2. Now how do I solve for v?
Plus 3.
Add 3. So negative 3v is equal to 5. And then what's the last step? Divide by negative 3. So v is equal to negative 5 over 3. So 29. How do I get 9 to have a common base of 3?
3 squared.
I'll make 9 3 squared. And then once my bases are the same, what can I do? Cross them out. So I have 2x is equal to 2. Divide by 2. So what does x equal?
1.
1. Awesome. All right. Next we have different bases. So these you have to use your calculator for. So we're going to use our calculator, and step 1 is to put it in exponential form. Step 2 would be use the calculator. So how would I put this in put it in log form. Sorry, it's already in exponential form. So we're putting it in log form. How do I put this in log form? Log base 18 of 71 is equal to r minus 2. Now to put log base 18 of 71 in my calculator, I have to use the change of base formula. So it would be log of what? Log of 71 over log of 18. So we're going to put that in our calculator. So we should get 1.47478. We're going to keep that in our calculator and just do the last step. So what do I have to do next? Add 2 to both sides. So we add 2 to that. So that'll give us 3.4747. So 7 means that I round up or stay the same? Round up. So it would round up to 3.475. All right, let's look at the next one. Again, we can't make these have a common base. So different base means we have to put it in log form. So I start with log. What would be my base?
20.
Log 20. What would come next? 81, and it's equal to? Negative 4v. So how do I put the log base 20 of 81 in my calculator? So log of 81 divided by log of 20. So we put that directly in our calculator. And that'll give us 1.4669. And then what would be the last step?
Put it in log form.
divide by -4. So since v is being multiplied by -4, we do the opposite and divide. So I would divide by -4, and we get -0.3667. 7 means that I round up or keep it the same? Round up, so -0.367. What's the first thing I need to do for 35?
Put the log and the 4. Wait, you multiply the, right, once you multiply the 4.
What do I have to do? If I have 2 logs on one side, what do I do?
Put them together.
I combine them. So how would I combine them? By multiplying. So it'll be log base 4 of what? 3x. So it's x times 3, but we can write it as 3x. And that's equal to log base 4 of 61. What do I do next? Cancel out the logs. So 3x is equal to 61. And then what's the last step? Divide by 3. So x is equal to 61 divided by 3, which would be 20.333. Yeah, you could just put the line because it's 3 repeating, so if you wanted to. So this one's a little bit different because I have 2 logs on one side, but none on the other side. So what do I have to do if I have 2 logs on one side? Combine them. So if I'm adding, how would I combine? Multiply. So I have log base 9 of what? X plus 2 times 2. And that's equal to 2. What would I do next? I would distribute that. So I'm multiplying the 2 times the x and the 2. So I have log base 9 of 2x plus 4 is equal to 2. Now what can I do? Put it in exponential form. So what's my base? 9. What's the exponent? 2. And then what's it equal to? 2x plus 4. And then from here we solve. So what is 9 to the second power? 81. And that's equal to 2x plus 4. Then what would I do? Subtract 4. So 81 minus 4 is what? 77. And then we would do, what's the last step? Divide by 2. So 77 divided by 2. 38.5. All right, 39. So I have 2 logs on the left side. What should I do?
Combine and multiply.
Combine them. So if I'm adding, how would I combine?
Log 6, 8. And then x minus 3 equals 1.
Perfect. So we multiply. So log base 6 of 8 times x minus 3 equals 1. What should I do next?
You should distribute the 8.
We can distribute the 8. So I have log base 6 of 8x minus, what's 8 times 3? 24, and that's equal to 1. And then what should I do? Put it in exponential form. So I have 6. What's my exponent?
6, 8x.
6 to the power of 1 is equal to
Minus 24.
8x minus 24. What's 6 to the power of 1?
6.
Just 6. Then what should I do? Add the 24. So 6 plus 24 would be 30. And then what's the last step? Divide by 8. So 30 divided by 8 would be 3.75. Let's look at 38. 38 is a good one. So how would I combine these 2 logs?
You would divide.
I would divide. So I start with log base 8. And then what would go on top?
X minus 10, and then divided by 5.
And then that's equal to 1. Now what can I do? We can put it in exponential form. So start with 8. What's my exponent? 8 to the power of 1 is equal to what? X minus 10 over 5. So 8 to the power of 1 is just 8. So 8 is equal to x minus 10 over 5. Now what can I do to solve for x? Multiply by 5. So since x is being divided by 5 on the right side, I'm going to multiply by 5 on both sides. So it'll cancel out on the right. 8 times 5 is what? 40. So 40 is equal to x minus 10. And then what's the last step?
Plus 10.
Plus 10. So 50 is equal to x.